Here, they're walking in and like check it out. 6 minutes.
All right, these.
Good thing you sold me that Angela.
What I'm going to do is, I'll just mention that. Forgot to put on the agenda the chairman's appointment to the planning board. Will somebody make a motion? Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'll call to order the March meeting of the Wilton Town Board. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Stryker.
Here.
Councilman Bogardus.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Lamb.
Here.
Councilman McEachran.
Here. Julie, is anybody signed up for public comment? Okay, we begin the meeting as usual with public comment period. First person to sign up is Tom Murphy. If you would come up here and...
Good evening. My name is Thomas Murphy.
Talking to the mic, I'm sorry.
Might be a little low for you.
I don't really need it. Okay. I can carry my voice well. 1 Hearthstone Drive. I'm a retired NYPD detective out of the counterterrorism unit. Presently work as a school resource officer for Greensboro School District. I sent all you guys some emails. Appreciate you guys getting back to me. I have a little statement to say about the removing of the firearms from the grounds monitors. Parkland school shooting was #1 report story in 2018, stated the Associated Press. 2018 was the worst year for school shootings. 2018, there were 24 school shootings with the injuries of death. 114 people were killed or injured. 28 students were killed, along with seven school employees, 79 people injured. School ground monitors program has been in effect for 30 years, keeping thousands of students safe during this time. Since the inception of the grounds monitors program, no student of color was ever menaced or threatened by the monitors, no service weapon discharged. Grounds monitors did not detain or issue disciplines to any students. Most of the students, staff, and board members did not even know ground monitors were armed. Over 1,000 citizens have attended school board meetings. 300 citizens have spoke at these meetings on disarming the ground monitors. 80% in favor of reauthorizing the program. Also, increasing the SR program. A school safety program poll conducted by the Saratoga Springs School District, 80% respond, increasing school security. Over 1,500 signed petitions opposed to disarming the ground monitors were given to the school board superintendent. 3 passed resolutions, overwhelmingly, the town of Greenfield, the town of Wilton, thank you very much, City of Saratoga, council boards in response to decisions to removing the firearms from the school ground monitors. The politicians are hearing from the voters, and the voters are not happy. The Saratoga Springs Assistant Chief of Police, the school resource officer for the school district, the director of the school security for the district, stated the students are less safe now since the disarming of the ground monitors. I recently found out at a board meeting that the SROs assigned to the high school, when they are off training, out sick, that there's no one to cover them. The district has not coordinated coverage with the police department to have a replacement for an SRO or an armed monitor. The district needs to do more. Increasing mental health programs for our students. I'm in the schools every day. We need to expand the mental health programs. expanding the school resource officer programs to all Saratoga Springs schools, rearming qualified ground monitors, and expanding that every school has a ground monitor in the school full-time, armed and unarmed. I was recently at a school resource officer meeting for local SROs all throughout the Capital District. At this meeting, I spoke with 2 SROs assigned to the Hadley Luzerne School District, which has 721 students, with 2 full-time SROs. Saratoga Springs School District, with a student population of 6,400 kids, has 2 SROs. We can do better, and we must. On February 25th, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Time's up. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Next is Joe Moran.
Good evening, folks. I'm Joe Moran from 63 Sheffield. Just want to dovetail on what Tommy was saying. I'm a retired NYPD sergeant. I was a forensic sergeant during the World Trade Center terrorist attacks. Trained in counterterrorism and just about anything else you could possibly imagine. I was a community policing sergeant and also was a community policing police officer. We covered schools in New York City all the time. We always had ancillary support from other precincts and task force within New York City. There was always school cops in every school. Matter of fact, Mayor Giuliani actually had the police commission approve off-duty police officers and retired police officers to provide security with each and every public school within New York City because of guns being confiscated, shootings within the school, knifings, and all sorts of drugs and other problems and quality of life conditions within those schools. So Mayor Giuliani did that and also indemnified those police officers if they were acting within the proficiency of their duties while conducting their duties as police officers. I don't see why we're going against common sense and logic when you already have police officers, active and retired, that were armed for 30 years in the school and there was never such an incident. In actuality, it's like having an ancillary police force within the school. So if there's an incident within the school, you call the police, it takes several minutes for them to respond. Now, why would you want to do that when you have a police force already within that school? And another thing is, they were exposed. 30 years, no one knew they had guns. It's almost like exposing an air marshal within the plane, and the passengers know who the air marshal is, and then the terrorist knows who to go after first. No one knew any one of those police officers were armed. I come from a military family. All my uncles were Marines, the military, the Army. They served in Korea and Vietnam, and they were combat veterans who served in the theater of combat, and they became police officers who also worked in the inner cities. So they knew about combat. They got involved in shootings. My godfather, my uncle, was shot by the anarchists associated with the Weather Underground and the Black Liberation Army, was shot in the neck and shot in the leg. Still survived his wounds and still policed and retired successfully at the end of his career. Even when he retired, he said, if you're licensed and privileged to carry a weapon, you carry that weapon not only for yourself, for your family, and for public safety, and for the citizenry which you reside in. It's your obligation and commitment to protect the public, on or off duty. These police officers are trained in spatial orientation, situational awareness, and field experience. They're trained several times a year, and police officers they already have assigned there. They're already active duties within the Sheriff's Department and the Saratoga Springs Police Department. They're not even retired, so they're working there in an off-duty capacity. I really don't see what is the problem having these professionals armed. Instead of calling the police, waiting several minutes to respond, well, there's a shootout. And if you're concerned about friendly fire can happen in almost any shooting, even when the police actually respond. Thanks for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Joanne Klepetar? Pardon?
Right here.
Put down twice.
Thank you. Joanne Klepetar, Parkhurst Road. I'm not sure what this has to do with Wilton Town Board, but anyway, I know you already passed the resolution opposing the gun carrying. So, my issue tonight is the illegal signage in the town of Wilton. There's 2 that I know of. One is probably a 5x4 sign on Smithbridge Road advertising apartments in the Cider Mill area. It's a permanent sign. It's been there at least 2.5 years. I don't think it's legal. And the second is the Gordon Building has they're called feather flags, and they're right at the entrance. They're about 8 foot long. Box cutter and hacksaw could take care of that right away. I don't know if they're legal. I don't think they are. And if they're not, it should be addressed before Route 9 starts looking trashy, like Moreau, South Glens Falls, Clifton Park. The other thing is, again, I think we need to put the position of town planner back into the budget. I know different people have said that. I recall the meeting about 7 years ago when it was came up for a vote to get rid of that position. I remember two very big developers, Mike Dennis and Frank Perillo, sitting right over here speaking about keeping that position. And I think it needs to be looked at over and over again. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric Rosenberg?
You started it before you got here.
Eric Rosenberg, 16 Crawl Lane. Two issues I wanted to comment on tonight. As soon as I open my paper. I did want to talk about, briefly about the gun advocacy resolution that you all passed 2 meetings ago. As always, I'm not going to speak to the decision itself, but to the process, although everybody should know that these folks up here have nothing to do with whether or not there's going to be guns in the schools or not. I do say, though, gun advocacy, because if it was really about school safety, you would have heard other people speak, you would have heard the other opinions. There are plenty of other opinions as have been expressed in the town. But my bigger concern is when you met with the group outside of a public meeting, and you all must have talked about it outside of the public meeting because everybody was in agreement well in advance because there was a resolution plan. Excuse me.
Don't accuse me of doing something that hasn't done. That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you that
John,
this was
let him go.
obviously decided in
John, let him
advance.
go.
And when you did that, you broke the law and you violated your ethical obligations. Okay? Because it was a done deal when you got here.
Really? Did we vote on it one at a time, or did we all vote?
Yes, you voted on it, but
One
you
at a
obviously
time.
discussed it outside of the meeting.
I don't know what you're
wouldn't have
talking
been
about.
so
What's he
agreement.
talking about?
Let Eric just go on, okay?
Babble.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is the town planner. At the end of the meeting, Art, you mumbled something about having the last month.
I mumbled?
Yes, you under your breath, because I heard it right up here when people said having a town planner, permanent. You know, I try to respect you all when you speak. I've got only 3 minutes because you won't meet with me any other time. At least have the courtesy to give me my 3 minutes.
You got it, go ahead.
Okay. So, anyway, the statements were made by some people that having a permanent full-time town planner is not the same as having an outside planner, and you said, yes, it is. And the answer is at least have the courtesy to the people of Wilton to tell us the real reason. Because how many hundreds of thousands of dollars, or perhaps millions of dollars in grants, do we not apply for because we don't have a full-time planner? Ryan does a good job at being the engineer, but he's got plenty to do there, okay? So it's not the same. At least be honest with the people of Wilton, okay? Annual development reports, probably put together by the planner. Last one on the website, 2016, okay? We're years behind. We spent lots and lots of money on and they're listed, by the way, on the page for the planning department. We have an open space plan. We have a comprehensive plan. Exit 16 linkage study. Blueprint for economic growth. Who's looking at those? Who's implementing those? Nobody, I'm sure. I haven't gotten my FOIA request responses back, but I'm sure it's going to show that nobody's doing the planning job, okay? And the Hamlet, we've had a couple of meetings now with that developer. There's still nobody looking at the details of where should we put the crossers. Nobody's doing the planning job. It's time to come clean to the people of Wilton, explain why you're not, or hire the planner and stop keeping Wilton stuck in the past.
Time is up.
Feel free to meet with me at any time, John, if you want to discuss with me anything that's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? I've always made that clear. Happy to talk to anybody.
Okay. First agenda item is to approve the minutes pending from our February meeting.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, is there any requests for changes or modifications? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? So moved. Okay, next, Camp Saratoga Delagan Pond Fishing Program. This is something that's been enacted every year. You have the previous resolutions in front of you. It gives limitations if someone wants to, so you all know what they are. This is a stocking program is for the town of Wilton's handicapped residents and use under 16 only. April 1st to October 15th will be reserved for fishing by town of Wilton residents, resident use, age 16 or under, and handicapped individuals, and may be assisted by an immediate adult family. The fishing limit is 2 per day, and there's no live bait is permitted. This is something we've had in effect there for several years, but we do the resolution each year when spring is coming on us.
I'll make a motion, we approve the resolution as written.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? So moved. We always ask Margot Olson of Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park to give us a quarterly report and tell us about all the good things that are going on at Wilton Wildlife Preserve and Park. Margot?
Thank you. It's nice to be here. I feel like I judge my time of year, and I can't believe how fast time goes, because I feel like I was just here giving my last quarterly report. For those of you who might not have picked one up there in the back on the table there, and it kind of runs through what we've been up to in this first quarter of the year. Because our mission is focused on conservation, environmental education, and outdoor recreation, we've kind of put the report in those categories so that you can see what initiatives we have going on in each of those in environmental education, conservation, and recreation. In the first quarter, it's winter here in the Northeast, so our focus is less on conservation in a lot of ways, though we do some planning for our spring, different wildlife surveys, and we're in conversation with DEC for all the plans that they have with the biologists and the managers of the Saratoga Sand Plains Wildlife Management Area for what the work that they'll be doing to improve trails, to improve the habitats, to do the different work there, and how we can support their work. So we have been doing that. But a lot of what we do in the winter months is focus on outdoor recreation, and especially at Camp Saratoga, we've had a grooming program for many years. This year we had decent snow, and so most of the grooming was done by our interns, and appreciate the support that the town gives us with the operating grant. Some of that money goes towards our intern program, and we also use some of the money from the operating grant to support the equipment, the maintenance, and the rest of it, so that we can groom those 4.5 miles of trails at Camp Saratoga for cross-country skiers and snowshoers. And after we've had snow, I think that Camp Saratoga is busier in the winter months sometimes than it is even in the nicer weather months of the year when people are really getting out and using those trails. So one of the user groups is Saratoga Striders, the running club. So in the summer, they have this 5K run series. In the winter, they do a snowshoe race. And so they had that again this year. And so that was well attended. I guess since I was last here, we did cancel our moonlight ski and snowshoe this year. You can't predict how weather is going to turn out, and we had not enough snow and icy conditions. The day of, then we were supposed to have the event, and then the next day we got a great snowstorm with lots of snow. But at that point it was too late. So next year, hopefully we'll be able to have that again. And as I mentioned, we have environmental education interns that work at the Preserve Park, and we have been busy with after-school programs, working with Franklin Community Center with their Project Lift, going in and bringing programs to those kids, the Wilton Rec after-school program, Malta Community Center after-school program, as well as in-school programs. Tonight, I know there's a Girl Scout group doing an owl prowl, and on Monday there'll be a Boy Scout group. So we work with lots of different community groups in schools, and that's a year-round thing, not just during the summer or during the warm weather months. It is year-round. So I think that kind of covers everything, unless you have any questions.
Margaret, once again, great job. Any questions?
No.
Anybody in the audience have any questions for Margaret?
And again, thanks to the great staff at the town of Wilton for keeping the parking lots clear and making it so that even after a snowstorm, people who are eager to get out and enjoy, it's amazing how fast those guys get out there and make everything workable and maintaining the bathrooms so people who are out there have a place to use them. So all of those are really super appreciated by us and by the public.
Thank you. Thank you to you and your board, Margot, for all your work.
Thank you.
Next item is a clarification and ratification to local law number 1 of 2008 regarding Palmertown Ridge PUD. The only thing tonight is we need to do is set a public hearing for next month to review that clarification that is being prepared by council.
Make a motion to set a public hearing. For what date?
April 4th.
For April 4th.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Next, we have a reappointment, Aaron Armstrong, who serves on our Park and Recreation Commission. The reappointment would be from March 4th of this year to March 3rd of 2022. Sue has contacted her and she wants to be reappointed.
Aaron's doing a great job there, and I'd like to put a motion to reappoint Aaron Armstrong.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Next is a reappointment for Karen James Stack as to the Historical Preservation Board. Her term would be from March 7th to 19 to 12/31/20. As you know, we appointed Karen as to replace Jeannie Waters as our town historian. So this would be appoint Karen to the Historical Preservation Board.
She'll be fulfilling Jack Fleming's term.
Jack Fleming resigned, so she would be filling Jack Fleming's term.
I'll put forth the motion to appoint Karen James Strack.
Second it.
Actually, it's Karen Strack James.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Jeannie was taking Jack's place, and then Jeannie was the historian, so she was automatically on the board, but Jack resigned, so Jeannie was appointed to Jack's spot, and then I'm taking Jeannie's spot. Just to be clear,
Right, well, thank you for that. And also, which is not on here, is to appoint Jeannie as chairwoman of that board.
Yes, Jeannie should be chairwoman.
I'll put forth the motion, and then also to appoint Jeannie Waters as chairwoman.
I'll second that one.
Okay, so the motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Well, we're dealing with appointments. I had intended to put on the appointment of the planning board chairman on today's agenda. I inadvertently forgot to do that. So, as you remember, back in January, we did not reappoint we did not appoint a chairman, so I would entertain a motion to appoint the chairman tonight.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Mike Dobus as chairman of the planning board.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I be an aye without breaking our ethics violation?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next, committee reports. Any committee reports?
Go ahead, Chief.
A few months ago, we brought up putting money aside for appliance pickup and that. And I talked to you about getting hold of, about the appliances, but for the old medicine, I talked to Sheriff Zerlo today. They bring the people, they have the boxes, and they have someplace they bring it. And I'd like to do it the third Saturday in April, which I think be like the 20th, like from 9 to 1.
That would be here in the parking lot, John?
Where do you want it? Town, highway?
I get can you do it two places or no? Like here in Gavin Park? Or do you want that stuff?
Well, I mentioned here.
I would just do it here.
Okay.
Just so you know, it's the day before Easter, I'm just saying, April 20th.
We should have indoors, just in case to get indoors to do it.
Make a decision, make a date. If you don't want, you're not ever
No, I'm
thought of
just
that.
saying.
No, I don't
He
think
told me just send him an email, whatever you want to do, and they get right on it.
Huh? Did he say they're available that day?
Anything we want to do, I just gotta email him with a date. I'm gonna pick a date.
I mean,
You wanna go the following week,
I don't care, just set the date.
27th of April, 9 to 1?
If that's what you work with the sheriff?
No, he said whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Want to do it here at Town Hall?
It should be warm by then, I hope.
Well, in case it's raining, we don't want people out in the parking lot with medications.
We'll get you a raincoat. But they bring the boxes and they talk, and they take it where it's gotta be disposed of. And he said just
Yeah.
to make them a poster and he'll put it on their
So we'll put it-
Facebook.
Sue put it on our website
Right,
and advertise.
and he said he'll put it on his, we get him a poster and make something up.
And it would be here in the town hall parking lot.
Okay,
The 27th?
April
27th.
Is that a motion, sir?
We don't need a motion.
All right.
John, what time did you say? 10
To 9 to 1.
9 to 1?
Anyone else?
Actually, I have a little brief one. Again, just keeping everybody updated on the building projects. We are moving forward with the court building rehab. We have a meeting coming up soon. We have a 90% conceptual drawing, and we are still on track, if I believe correctly, Ryan, to go out to bid this month for the court building.
Hopefully towards the end of the month, yeah.
Towards the end of the month. Gavin Park, as soon as we get some weather, we're going to be able to hopefully get moving with the pavilions. Probably another month before that weather is coming up. And then the salt screens, I believe we're going to be meeting with the highway superintendent and his supervisors and Ryan and a couple of the building guys are going to be meeting and coming up with a final design and ideas on that. Ideally, all these projects are going to be completed before salt is needed. Hopefully before summer camp is in, the goal is to have the pavilions all set and ready. And the court building is, again, we're going to hope to have it done before fall. My understanding is we do have another project that's floating out there, which is not part of our discussion, is the air conditioning for Gavin Park. I'm not sure who's in charge of that.
Yeah.
If we want to put that under the umbrella of all the other projects we have discussing.
I was talking to Ryan about it, so, and we're kind of on top of it now.
You guys are all good with it and everything?
Yeah, we've got to look into the history, what we did before, and
Okay.
get the costs.
That's going to be installed by an outside contractor. It
Yeah.
doesn't involve our buildings people.
And that's it for me.
Anyone else? Just a couple announcements. Probably everybody knows John Ariel's Farm that has stopped by and had their products on Northern Pines Road. Well, John has received the Conservationists of the Year Award from the Saratoga Soil and Water and the Farm Bureau. So I just want to mention that and recognize John and his family for the generations of agricultural work they've done here in the town. And one other item, April 9th is Yellow Ribbon Day, and the county clerk, and as in previous years, has partnered with the Blue Star Mothers, that's the parents of servicemen and women, to collect donations for freedom boxes that are sent to deploy to our troops. And we will have a box here in Town Hall. They're looking for donations for many different items. The list includes... we're going to have flyers up there, so there's a lot of personal items and food items. Anything that anybody would like to donate, there will be a box here, and we'll forward it to Craig Hayner, the county clerk, who will forward them to our troops overseas. So we appreciate any donations that we get for that. And the last item is Controller's Report. Maria?
So we have some budget amendments on the report today, and the budget amendments are required because these items were part of the budget last year but had not been spent. So they had gone into fund balance when we closed the books, and now we need to re-budget for these same items. We just talked about them a few minutes ago with Dwayne when he had mentioned the pavilion and the salt screen. So we're requesting that money comes from the fund balance to fund these two items.
I make a motion, we approve the budget amendments 1 and 2.
Second it.
Got a motion, a second. Any questions or discussion of Maria? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
The next item is the 2019 budget transfers, and this is necessary just to reallocate the existing appropriations between accounts. So in the first case, we have a fee for the actuarial valuation. That's a new accounting standard that's being implemented this year. The expense was not budgeted previously, so now we have to increase that expenditure line to accommodate that fee. The second one is just a little bit of money for the calcium chloride that was used for the snow removal, so there's an excess of expenditure over what was budgeted related to that. The third item is just a prior year invoice that was paid in the current year. Again, small item. And then we have on the fourth and last budget transfer, the Parks Director had requested that we reallocate money for salaries that were originally budgeted for recreation. He would like to move it to the Parks line, just based on what he anticipates happening for the year. And that's $10,000.
Okay, any questions of Maria on the transfers? If not, entertain a
Make a
motion.
motion, part 2, 1 to 4, make a motion with approval.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Next, we have the Wilton Emergency Squad Penn Flex Service Award, also known as LOSAP. Every year, the town reviews the program, and members of the volunteer squad who earn over 50 points are eligible for retirement allocation. So we do the audit here, and the board is requested to approve the audit or the review, and once that is put into the resolution, then we send that over to the emergency squad, where they will then post their listing of the volunteers and their service hours for 30 days. After the 30 days, if there are no changes, that list is sent to Penn, and then they will bill the town for the 2018 contribution that is due to the plan.
And you've reviewed everything already?
Yes, yes, there were 9 members who earned over the 50 hours, and we have to review 25% of that, so there were not a lot of members to review. There were, I sampled 3 members, so it was not a big time-consuming.
It all looked good.
Yes, they were all good, no exceptions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
50 points, not 50 hours, 50 points.
50 points, yes.
So there's no resolution, this is just for informational?
There is a resolution that we need to have so that we can send it over to the emergency squad, and they can post that.
So the resolution would be to accept your review of the program and to forward it back?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to make a resolution that, based upon the audit and review of the Wilton Emergency Squad's Penn Flex Service Award done by Comptroller Maria, make a motion that we accept it and send it further down the line.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
The next item is our personnel items. Dave Coppinger of our Highway Department has resigned effective March 1st of 2019, and the board needs to accept his resignation.
I'll put forth a motion that we accept David Coffinger's resignation.
Just as a point of information, he's been appointed the highway superintendent in the town of Northumberland, so.
Congratulations to him. Give me a second.
I'll second.
Second? Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
The next item under personnel is that Mark Marino Parks would like to hire Michael Loback to fill a vacancy for the part-time maintenance worker. He'll be earning $15.37 an hour, and his proposed start date is March 12th, and this proposal requires board acceptance.
Is that the standard rate of pay?
Yeah, it's the base pay.
Same pay that,
It's the same pay as the person who had the job.
Yes.
Person that had it?
Steve Vance.
Steve Vance.
Steve Vance.
Steve Vance took
He
Pat
moved up
Gavin's.
and
He took a raise of 1 penny.
Yes.
he was a part-timer, they moved up to full-time.
But that's the starting rate, though. We're not going to get into any...
no.
No.
All right. I'll make a motion, we allow Mark to hire Michael Labash at $15.37 an hour.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
The next item is that it is recommended that the board appoint Tina Weber as assessor for the town at the assessor's base rate of $37.89 per hour, effective March 19th through the completion of the assessor's current term, which would be September 30th of 2019.
I put forth a motion to...
I thought we were going to prorate that.
I'm sorry?
I thought we were going to prorate that salary from last month.
No, from the date of appointment, she'll...
What's that equal a year
I'm sorry?
for pay? What's that equal a year? I ain't smart enough to
It's
figure it out.
roughly 60,000.
68,000, actually.
It's supposed to be like 67, 6,
Yeah.
6, 68, that's starting
Yeah.
pay. Is that
Yes, it's
it?
the base, yes, it is the base pay for the assessor, yes.
I'd like to make a motion, we appoint Tina Weber to assessor for the town of Wilton.
Second it.
Okay, a motion and a second. I just have to say that, since Kathy resigned, Tina has stepped up and Nicole as well.
They've both done great jobs.
Has picked up the slack in the absence of the assessor, so well-deserved appointment.
Congratulations.
So we have motions.
And good luck.
Still got one. Still have to vote.
I think we had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Now, good luck.
And lastly, Sue Baldwin is seeking town board approval to attend the New York State Town Clerks Association Conference in Syracuse from May 5th through May 8th of 2019, and this requires board approval since it's overnight travel.
I make a motion, we send Susan Baldwin, our town clerk, to the New York State Clerks Association, but there's no stopping at Turning Stone.
Second it.
Under those conditions, all in favor?
We did not exclude the other casino that's right there also.
Thank you.
That's right.
Where's that?
There's a new one out there.
Casinos
This
out
one?
there.
You did, chief.
Yeah, there's Yellow Brick Road, and there's
I owe
Del
him too much.
Lago, there's...
I owe him too much money, so I'm not going there.
So we gotta say, I'm in favor of that. I don't know if we voted yet.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
It concludes the program, and I apologize to the board, but it just came up later this afternoon. I do need an executive session to talk about a personnel issue with potential discipline action against an employee. It won't take long, but, so I apologize for not having it on the agenda, but it just came up. So I need a motion.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.